Okay, so this is going to be my sort of year in review of like the first term at Cambridge, or like Michaelmas term as we call it, despite Michaelmas being in September and us starting in October. Um, the first day was really surreal. Like moving in was really hard, especially because I live up 6 flights of stairs, like right at the top. Luckily, some really great people that I had known from the group chat helped me move my stuff all the way up all those stairs. Thank you. Everything is just everywhere right now. Speaking of the group chat, I think that really helped because it was kind of a point of conversation on when we had all just moved in and no one really properly knew each other. So like because we'd been talking on the group chat, it kind of felt more like we sort of knew each other. In fact, as I was walking into college, one girl recognized me and was like, "Teddy," and I was like, hold on quick, who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? But that was really nice. So like that plus all the icebreakers that college had set up meant that I felt settled in and not exactly alienated or anything. And actually college were really good at setting stuff up for us to kind of get to know each other. Like I think they did speed dating on the first day, and they had stuff on like throughout that whole first few days, because we're moving on the Saturday and then term starts on the Thursday, so like in that window is our freshers. But yeah, no, it was good. Some of the things they had on were like boat building, which involved a plastic bag, a box, and creativity. Just mad ideas. And then we threw them in the river. We also had a bar crawl, which devolved into a trip to Sainsbury's because we were all just like, yeah, no, these pubs are way too expensive. So we ended up going to Sainsbury's, getting drinks and stuff, and then doing like weird games out in Market Square, which was really fun. Oh, and the formals, like we had the matriculation formal, which was on like the third day or something. So that was our first formal where we had to like wear suits and gowns and stuff. So today is matriculation day, hence I'm wearing a gown. But that was really good. And then we also had the matriculation bop, and then we had another bop on Friday, and I think on the Monday we had the bop to end all bops. That was like, it was all really fun and helped you to just feel kind of more comfortable. The first week in general was really interesting. It was lots of fun, lots of free pizza, lots going on, like with joining societies and stuff and trying everything out. But I signed up to way too many societies and ended up going to like none of them. It was also when like friendships started to form kind of properly in the first couple of weeks. And to be fair, our freshers kind of overran because we just kept going to things, like kept going to the bar. I mean, we went to Bop every week. People were going out. It was really odd, super intense, and like that didn't help with the whole freshers flu thing, which was hell. Some of the highlights of the societies and stuff were like ultimate frisbee, which is super fun and I actually really want to go back. Like it's really intense, even though it sounds ridiculous. Forró, which for a start we were saying wrong, was really out of my comfort zone, but it was lots of fun. And of the 5 of us that went, like 3 vowed to never go back. And also I lost my key that night. Like I left it in the place. We got all the way back to college. I got up to my room, went to the door, and was like, oh god. So we had to go all the way back, got my key again, came back. The next day we went to Quidditch, which was utterly ridiculous, but so much fun, and it had good food, which I wouldn't have expected. I also lost my key then, like 2 days in a row, despite having it on a lanyard so that I wouldn't lose it. Oh, and then Taijutsu, which was so far away, and I swear to God, Mel, if you ever suggest something like that again. By the second week, work had like properly started, and like, God, that was so intense. I pretty much instantly drowned, but that was entirely my fault. I have no organizational skills, and I kind of just forgot how hard it would be over summer. Luckily, there's lots of support offered to you. Like within the second or third week or something, I had a meeting with my tutor who's kind of in charge of your welfare, and I straight up said that I didn't think I could do it. I was drowning in the work. I didn't know what was going on, couldn't remember any of the acronyms, didn't know where I was going, and when I'd already slept through a meeting with my Italian supervisor, slept through a meeting with my tutor, and so yeah, I just told him I don't feel like I can do this. But he said that everyone kind of feels like that, and it's normal to feel like you kind of don't fit in. Everyone feels like they've somehow cheated the system and gotten in without the admissions office really meaning to. For me, with my grades, that feeling was so real. But talking about how the work is really getting to me and I'm not like doing so well helped, because they were like, yeah, no, I understand, it'll get better. And I mean, to an extent it did. I started to get used to it. The thing is, you start to get a feel for how everything works, how the timetable works, how you're gonna organize yourself, and like. But this is where I fall down, because I've never been good at organizing. Throughout A level, the teachers were just constantly on at me, like, you need to organize. It will make everything so much easier. It will relieve so much stress. I'm like, I'm trying, but I'm just not good at this. But back then, every time that I managed to get organized, things started to go better again, but then I'd fall into disarray again. And so, like, for the last term, my organization basically consisted of a drawer in my room full of all of the sheets that I'd been given throughout the whole year. It wasn't all stress, though. Like, one of the good things about Robinson is that it's not that competitive. And to that effect, we have a bop every week on Friday, which is kind of like it's kind of like a school disco when you're in primary school, but way more fun, I guess, and cheap alcohol. But yeah, the bops ended up being kind of a key part of everyone's week, because they're every Friday. And so once Friday comes around, despite us being so stressed throughout the week, everyone's kind of like, let's go to the bop and just have a moment when we can just relax and forget about work for a bit, enjoy the weekend, despite weekends not really being weekends, since Cambridge weeks start on a Thursday. So Friday is like the second day of the week, and Natskis have Saturday morning lectures and stuff. Luckily I don't, so the weekends end up being frantic essay writing for me, but beside this point. Another thing I'm incredibly grateful for is like the amazing friends that I've made. Like, the people are honestly the best part. These guys are the real reason that I made it through term. Like, from throwing emergency tea parties when we're all just way too stressed out to like even deal with anything, to coming to visit me all the way from London and like chilling in my room for a sec while I just finish some work that I've been stressing out about, to letting me sleep on their floor when I just want the company, to spending 7 consecutive hours with me into like late into the night, just working, talking and drinking tea. You guys are amazing, and I can't thank you enough. This leads me on to like the week 5 blues, which is when like the emergency tea parties really came into their own, and like they became so necessary and so frequent, but so good. The week 5 blues basically refers to the fact that most students tend to find like this the hardest point of term, and I kind of have mixed feelings towards the whole concept. It is true that by this point in term things can feel really difficult, but the week 5 blues is so mythicized that it's almost to the point that it seems that you'll just be possessed by the depression spirit, and then by the following Thursday you'll be all fine again, which causes like 2 major problems. What if you start struggling before week 5? Does that delegitimize your struggles? Does it mean you just can't cut it at Cambridge? And what if you're not over it by week 6? Does that make you weaker than everyone else? Is everyone else somehow just getting on with it while you kind of flounder, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to cope? So, like, obviously none of these things are true, and, like, I, for one, struggled far longer than just week 5. And then around that time I also got really ill and ended up missing, like, a whole week of uni. Cambridge isn't easy. That's just a fact. The whole thing is designed to push you, and it's all about progression. If it's hard, it means that there's more progression to be made. That in itself is rewarding. Like, case in point, all term I found Italian so hard. Like, consistently towards the bottom of the class in grammar and vocab tests. Again, my fault. Apparently, you're supposed to revise for these things, like that really helps. And I thought I'd learnt nothing by the end of term. But then, once term was over, I kept noticing things that made me realise, like, how much I'd actually learnt. So, like, first I realised I could understand the majority of a song in Italian. Then I had an entire impromptu conversation with someone in Italian, and by the end of it was like, whoa, how did I, but how? And then, and this might seem really pathetic, but this is the moment when it really hit home. I was on Duolingo, and like I hadn't done it since before I'd started, And then, so I'd only done like the first 4 circle things. And then I was like, I'm going to try the test out thing. And I tested out a bit and it was really easy. I was like, I'm going to do another one. And I tested out of all of them until there was no more that I can test out of. So then I had to do them each individually, and like still going through it was like, oh, I know this. I can do this. And that was just like, I've learned so much Italian. How has that even happened? Because like they try and do what a lot of other places do in a whole year in that first term. Because by the end of this year, we have to catch up with the post A-level people and then be like at the same sort of level. And so we've been doing the grammar work and like speaking, and I also still have to do literature in Italian. Like we've been doing lit since the start of term, even before I started. I had to write a critical commentary on the 5th canto of Dante's Inferno, which was hard. Thank you, Kemlo, for helping me with some of that analysis. So my main point is that it's hard, but it does pay off in the end. Like there are noticeable differences. And so goals for next term are to organise better, and I think I have a plan for how to do that. Like it involves having a day folder and then setting aside dedicated time to put away the sheets where they're supposed to go in, like separated folders for each thing, so that I know where to find them, and then putting dates on everything. Not leaving work till last minute, because that was the leading cause of all of my stress last term, and I've been telling myself since GCSE to not leave work till last minute, but haven't managed it yet. So we'll see how that goes. And then just doing things that make me happy and healthy, so I can enjoy my time there more, rather than hating every minute of it, but then also loving it at the same time. If that makes any sense. But yeah,